Hey guys, I have an M248 here, and I'm going to be doing day 3 of Puzzle Boss Rush 2. So, uh, these puzzles are a loop rush, which, as you can see, it consists of 6 different types of loop puzzles. We have um, corral or bag or cave, uh, where where the number clues indicate the amount of cells inside the loop that can be seen. So this 2 would mean it sees itself and 1 adjacent clue, and all other directions are blocked off. This is Myopia. Uh, all arrows are pointing to the nearest loop segment. In case of multiple arrows, all directions are given. And that means that for this single clue here, you, this line will never be drawn, as then there would need to be an up arrow. This is just a messy puzzle. Black circles result in a turn, and going straight immediately after. White circles result in going straight and turning on at least one side. Down here is Castle Wall, where the numbers count the number of segments in that direction. Black clues are outside the loop, white clues are inside the loop. Southern Link, where the clues give the number of edges around them. And then a type that I'm not sure if it has a name, but the number clues give the length of the longest loop segment touching any of their edges. So that means the 0 would give none, and say the 6 in the corner will have a line like that. That's reasonably obvious. So I'm going to jump right in. I have all of these pages open already, and let's get started. So I'm actually going to do this one with shading because that's how I just naturally do cave puzzles. Okay, so this 10, also solving this with shading, you can never have a 2 by 2, and any shaded cells will have to reach the border. This 4 is maxed like so, this 3 will have to go down. This 10 can actually see at most 10, which is pretty handy. So as I said, shaded cell will have to reach the border to match the fact that it's a loop. The 7 either goes up or over. You can't go over without creating a checkerboard. Okay, so this 4, just like earlier, the 4 was already maxed. Couple of misclicks, but not a big deal. Okay, so closing in on the finish here. Alright, that is the cave puzzle. Moving on to the Myopia. I'm going to immediately start by marking all instances where I know there's no segment. Or, well, most of them anyway. So this is the closest segment there. I'm reasonably slow at Myopia. It's not a common enough type for me to be particularly good at it. I can figure stuff out. That one's out, which rules out those. Going to need to take this path. Yeah, this particular interface is a little annoying for loop drawing stuff, apparently. So this one has 2 X's, so that will need to go up. That one has 1, so that's necessary. Placing some more X's. This one's closest is 2 cells away. Okay. Place some more X's. Place some more X's. This one has to come in, come out, and we're going to get the same logic we got earlier, which is interesting, I guess. I never marked this one. Or this one. Hmm. Up here is now completely blocked off. Now I'm going to need to use one of those, which means it's going to do all of that. There's only two possible points of escape, which means this is also forced. I believe this one could still have a distance of 3. It's either a distance of 3 or a distance of 1. And if it's a distance of 1, I actually run into a parity problem, which is quite the interesting realization. The parity being that this line be crossed an odd number of times, just going across the middle. So if it's 3, which we know it is 3, okay, I will eventually get used to how I have to draw these lines. Eventually. Alright, that is the myopia. Moving on to the Massey puzzle. Um, so this top corner is a good example of the rules just on its own. Those white circles are a pretty common pattern. Don't really have to think about that. And now do I have to start thinking? That one doesn't go up, so I can do that. One has to go down. Man, it is hard to gauge Massey clues on this kind of grid. It's quite difficult to visualize, at least to me. If this goes to the right, it creates a loop. It's going to eventually just, connect a bunch of stuff out, really. If this goes up, again, it would create a loop, so it doesn't. There's no room for this to go anywhere if it goes to the right, so it doesn't. And we get the same deduction as earlier, plus a little more. All right, nice and easy. Moving on to the castle wall. So due to the inside-outside nature of part of this puzzle, some deductions that can be made. This 3 is maximal. I can also say we don't pass through there. Let's mark some more zeros. This segment is used. Now, because this has to be outside the loop, it has to go in the same direction on both sides, and there's no room for it to go in this direction to the left, so it must go to the right. That's outside the loop, so it's not used. That's inside the loop, so it is. These lines will connect after dealing with this 3 down clue. There's another maximal clue that I hadn't seen yet. We're not going through there, which makes this 3 maximal. This is a pretty easy castle wall so far. These 2 lines, just do the inside-outside, have to go over to the right here, and they will eventually link up to here. I need to worry about the 1, which I can see that the 1 will be satisfied by having these 2 lines escape. This 3 is already satisfied. Don't close the loop prematurely. The 3 is already satisfied, and what clue is wrong? Oh, this 2. My bad, I missed that detail. Alright, on to the Slitherlink. Slitherlink is comparatively one of my weaker genres, but I've been getting better at it. I've been getting better at it for a while, and it still seems to be one of my weaker genres. So let's see how this one goes. It's pretty sparse, and sparse Slitherlinks often have me questioning where there's even progress to be made. So just a bunch of very common patterns here with threes and twos and such. That would close the loop prematurely. If that was not the line used, it would close the loop prematurely. It has to snake out. Cannot go this way, so we end up with something that looks a bit like that. It's the only way to satisfy the ones. Now I need to use this one coming on over here. That would close the loop, and nice. Moving on to the last one, the type I've never done before. So as I mentioned earlier, this 6 kind of works. This 1 would be the only way, given all the zeros at play. That segment can't be used, it would become too long. I don't know if this is the 2 or not. It seems like almost like low numbers are more powerful in this genre than big numbers. Like I can say that that must turn, but I don't know which direction. This 5 is pretty forcing though. Okay, that's actually really interesting logic. With the 1's forcing immediate turns. And the only way to get a 4 is like that. That means the only way to get a 2 is going to be like that. Now it's going to force a horizontal 2. Nice. Oh man, this is actually a really cool genre. I'm surprised I've never seen anything like it before. Okay, so we could escape through those zeros. I'm not sure if that's the right move or not, though. This 5 must be horizontal. And it must be linked to this line. And this is the only way to make sure we keep 5. This 3 is now a vertical line. Since this does escape through here and connect up. That means this is going to have to go down somehow. And the only thing really left to do is tag this 1 and this other one. Nice. So that is 11 minutes for the 6 puzzles. So if I was doing this during the contest at this point, I would mark down how many cells were inside the loop in each of these columns. So I'd put 4, 6 here and so on. However, I've already gotten the link from elsewhere for part 2, which is a singular giant puzzle. So let's just reset the timer and do the singular giant puzzle, which I've also pre-opened here. Let's get started. So I'm actually going to start again by switching to shading for this. Now the reason for that is so that I can make a break in, or I should say do everything I can in the cave section of the puzzle. Which isn't much. Which isn't much. Okay. If it wasn't obvious from the myopia the first time around, um, you cannot put a loop segment next to a 4-arrow clue, because if you do, you are immediately creating a loop. This will have to turn. This has to go down. This then goes vertically. I'm honestly not that surprised that the messy segment's going first. Or perhaps there's just progress to be made everywhere. This 10 is something. There's really... Oh, it can't go up without hitting this 1 or this 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. This 5 could still go in either direction, so that's not as nice. This 9 is going to have to go vertically at this point. There's no room for it to go horizontally. Uh, you know what? We're just going to do that. Green will be my inside the loop color. Alright, that's not the most useful. I mean, this patch is definitely green. Uh, so, like, all of those values must be inside. Let's see. I can rule out those segments. I can do this. And I know I won't be passing through here, and I will be passing through here. This is kind of just my general procedure for large puzzles, if that hasn't been made clear from these recordings. I jump around and go wherever I can find a little bit of progress and put that in and just keep going wherever the progress is. Um, it's not always obvious progress. It's not always easy progress, but, you know, it's just a matter of looking for it and finding it. This middle section concerns me, actually. That's a lot of different rule sets coming together in one. All right, so now I've established that all of that stuff is inside the loop. It is mildly annoying that it's worth keeping track of inside and outside for this, because it's not exactly the most efficient thing to do. Also, that's a Slytherin pattern that shows up reasonably often. If this segment I marked was an X, then the 1 would immediately become overloaded to a 2. And that one has to turn. Let's mark some more myopia X's. They kind of feed into each other. Oh wait, this has to extend in that direction, which gives it... Look at, like, this is what I mean about just a chain of deductions from different rule sets. Now, I don't know if this 4 will be seeing there or not. Um, Interesting fact. This 4 clue must strictly see at a distance of 2. Stop placing X's, though. I am going to place more X's in this area now, though, because I want to. Now they're useful. This castle wall clue is satisfied. There's nowhere else to go. Oh wait, this 5 is maximal. That's enough to force this in that direction. Turn that down. This will have to turn up in order to keep that inside the loop. So that's inside, as expected. This part's inside. So that means this is inside, but this stuff all needs to be outside. So that means this segment doesn't work. Likewise, I can rule out that segment, and there's definitely something else down there with inside-outside logic. Wait. Oops, my corral clues are all backwards on what they should be. Let's just do that smartly and fix it. So all of those are inside the loop, which gives me these segments that I totally missed that I actually had. Okay, so if one of these is used, then I actually can't say if the other one's used. I can get that segment though, because this segment has been given. Can also resolve another one of these 4s, and the last part of this 4, rule out there. Now, I still don't know if this is in or out, and that's kind of irritating that I don't know if it's in or out yet. This 4 is... the 4 could go out that way. The 5 could still be vertical. Oh, hey, this 1 is only usable if it's like that. Now, the 5 could still go all the way across like that, so I'm unsure how that's going to go. I do know that this whole block is considered inside, this block is considered outside, this block is then considered part of in. Now I know I'm not being thorough in marking every cell that I know the inside or outside of. And in fact, I don't want to mark those two. That's just kind of busy. But I am trying to mark them where I think they'll be helpful to have. So for example, see, this is where I can draw 2 segments in, because I know this is inside the loop, and I know that this is inside the loop. And in fact, I'm going to place the rest of these inside markers around castle wall clues, because I think that's going to be a reasonably useful thing to know. Like, strictly know. Again, I can get these segments. This is what I mean. That was available for a long time, and I just wasn't seeing it because I wasn't looking at inside or outside yet. Note that once I put all of these in, this must also be green, and as such outside, assuming I'm keeping straight my inside and outside at this point, which, let's be honest, all bets are off on that. A little more slither link progress. Nice. Let's just mark some more inside the loop stuff here. So all of that's inside. This is outside. Ooh, interesting. So I get some free segments there that are kind of tricky to spot, actually, without this inside-outside logic. There is room for both of these to pass through, so I'm not quite sure how much help those are going to be to have. This castle wall clue is going to be the decider here. I can get all 3 just along this section. So, not the most useful. Neither of those can be used. Because if they're used, then... No, wait, that's not true. This is possible still. Okay. If this mass Euclid goes down, then the circled 2 is just broken on the spot. So, where else do I have deductions available to me? This 9 feels like there's something. Um, it's not horizontal. Yeah, it's not horizontal, and that means it must be vertical. And if it's vertical, then it must be 3, 6, 9, which does give me some further progress into this section. Myopia says that. Just, oh, I missed some X's down here. I still don't quite know the inside-outside identity of most of this top yet. That's still annoying. 6 isn't quite going anywhere yet. However, now it is. This is all known to be inside, which interestingly puts those outside back to inside. Okay, if I now really think about this 8, it can't be horizontal, and there's just not enough segment space unless it's strictly that. Which is enough to put all of these inside the loop. That's still outside. These are inside. I know I'm getting a lot of X's just randomly placed. I'm not too concerned about that. Okay. So that's outside. Um, really close to specifying a lot more, actually. It doesn't quite seem like this section's going to do it. Can I make any statements about the cave area? Like list 12. 1, so 4, 9. Okay, so all of those are necessary. And that is enough to place this segment, which is kind of amazing. That it then also does this. Um, that's now an X, which is enough to make this an X, this an X, and then those have to be X's. So this is going to pass through. Oh, I now know where the inside on the myopia is. This is inside the myopia. Nice. So I'm doing a lot of inside-outside thinking here. For just keeping track of what's inside and outside the loop is giving me a lot of segments. Anywhere where I have an X, I can make this kind of connection. And as you can see, I can get a lot of information just straight out of it. Like, for example, those are all outside. Now, I don't... this will be resolved by the 12, which currently sees 6, so it will see another 1, 2, 3, 4, guaranteed. Now, the interesting part is that segment exists. Okay, progress is coming along nicely here. Just kind of looking around for where the next big steps are going to be. So this could be a segment which would force no passage through here, or this is a segment which allows passage up here. Either way, I think this needs to go up. No, it's not necessarily true. Okay. Hmm. This 5 now must be strictly vertical, which can only be done like that. Yep, as expected, that's all inside the loop. X gives that, like just inside outside gives that stuff. We need to pass through here, which can only be done like that. We need the 4. That snakes on through. I need to satisfy the 2, which there's no room to do if I don't go to the left first, which is enough to do this stuff. Force that down. Nice. That's very nice logic. This is a very, very enjoyable puzzle. Okay. So this is all inside. This is inside. Now those being outside is interesting. I guess by myopia logic I get this, which this is where, again, I know this is going to have to escape. Alright, the right side is now done except for down here, which I can resolve by giving this a 5, 2, and then some 1s. That's the bottom section done. Carrying on to right here. This slither link 3 is going to force that. Just because if it, I need to have, to pass through twice, and this is the only way I can pass through twice. If I take both of these, then I'm not crossing through correctly. So that gives this as the myopia line here. Those are now inside, guaranteed. Let's resolve the top of the myopia. Okay, just got the middle and this top section. And a little bit down here still. Yeah, those are the same line. So 1, 2, I need one more here. Not exactly obvious how to accomplish that. Uh, 7 has some options. A lot of this has some options still. Ah, yes, this myopia clue is now very helpful. Oh man, look at these X's go. Wait, oh no. Oh no. Oh no, this now overloads this 3 left clue. Oh no. That's not going to be easily fixable. Um, hmm. Problem is, like, once I resolve down here, which I'm confident in how I did all this, these kind of have to keep chasing each other due to the 10. And I'd resolved all of this area, which wasn't too bad to do. Based largely on, yeah. Hmm. Then how do I reconcile this area? How? Oh, wait. These don't have to connect. Okay, it's not broken. That satisfies the 3. That satisfies the 1. Whew. Wait, no. Okay. It's still fine. It's still fine. That one's just known to be outside. Okay. Crisis averted. So all of my logic was actually just correct. I just saw conclusion the wrong way. Whew! Always a relief when it's not actually a mistake. The 4 is now forced to do that, which almost resolves the 7 in a really interesting way. So this line and this line are not yet the same. However, no, it can't escape. It can still escape, but only just. Okay, oh wait, haha. So now we have 4 lines down here, and I don't know how they're going to meet. But, yeah, I don't know how they're going to meet. uh, that's forced due to the 7. Again, I have 4 lines here, and I don't know how they're going to meet. That's been a deduction for a while now. The 4 doesn't have a deduction, really. This 5 doesn't, that I can see. Okay, maybe there is something else down here with this one clue that I'm not. If this extends, then it breaks. So it does not extend. Now, this means this line has to make its way down here somehow, which resolves uniquely for either option. I think is interesting that it resolves uniquely, either like so for that link, or like so for this link. And either way, it just works. So it's going to depend on where the other end of this segment actually is, which I can track it all the way around. This line is the same as this line, and then this one goes all the way up here and eventually ends up there. Uh, 3 almost has something to it. In fact, it actually does have something to it now that I'm actually looking at it in a little more detail. Can you tell I don't solve this as a loop genre? It is so awkward to me drawing these loop segments in. This 5. Okay. The 5s don't necessarily link. There's still that option for them to avoid linking by taking these two cells. This 3, I don't see a way to say whether it connects or not. This 12 is now. Oh wait, this myopia is doing that. Okay. Okay, 12 is now a 12. 5, 6, 6. Yes. 1, 2. Unsure which direction that's going to go. Don't really care. I'm still making good progress here. Okay, what else can I do with oh, this 2 has been available. So that is going to resolve this 5 on the spot. Just going to resolve these numbers. And in fact, the entire top left corner is now done. So now, it's just a matter of closing this out. So remember, this segment goes all the way around and eventually becomes here. And this one is this one. Interesting how these two are these two at the bottom. Oh, checkerboard rule. Um, I don't know this the identity of that one. So again, both interchanges are possible with this. Yeah, with this Massey clue. I thought this was a cave clue for a second. So it's really just a matter of figuring out which clue I'm not currently using, I think. And it looks like it's just this 4. Or if it goes up, nothing interesting happens, and if it goes down... If it goes down, something interesting does happen. And then there's this one, which I already know resolves both directions. Man, it's just 2 clues, and it's a tough resolution stage. Oh, wait. It's a myopia clue. Of course it was a myopia clue. Why wouldn't it be a myopia clue? And now I know these two are the same, which means I can start resolving down here. Continue the loop chase. And solve this one in 31 minutes and 20 something seconds. So I'm going to actually put in the answer key for this one, which is just a matter of counting the cells inside the loop in the marked columns. 1, 2, 3, a lot. 6, 10, 12. So it would be 12 and then 15. So 12, 15, 10, 12, 15, 10, 15. Ah, okay. and I'm going to wait out the 60 seconds and go back to look at this grid. This was a really interesting puzzle. The interaction of all the clues in the center worked really nicely. Um, this rule of the maximum segment length, surprisingly powerful. I got to show how I'm pretty solid at cave, but not very good when you make me draw a loop for it. And I can be blind to myopia clues. Like this being a really important clue at the end to rule out this segment and then just force this big loop chase through the middle. That was honestly something. And all of this middle green stuff escapes through this one narrow channel, and that's it. So 5 seconds left, and we'll see if I'm good at counting or not. Yay, I'm pretty sure I saw a form. Good at counting. Alright, so thanks for watching. I will hopefully have days 4 and 5 tomorrow. Until next time, bye.